That's awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about what it's like working with a restaurant owner? Like, what are the perks and benefits of niching down in this industry?
Well, the biggest perk is there are restaurants
Yeah.
everywhere. So you are not going to have trouble finding a restaurant. The biggest key is finding a restaurant that needs a bookkeeper. But just even today at lunchtime, I was at Pliable. I don't know if you guys have that anywhere in the US. And I started talking to the cashier. I had placed my order, and then I just asked, do you have a bookkeeper? Do you need a bookkeeper? That sort of thing. So that's one way that we talk about, walking into a restaurant or to a business in the food and beverage industry and asking point blank, do they need a bookkeeper? They actually did. So I left them my business card. So that's just one way that we talk about networking and walking into a facility in the mastermind. But the key with the restaurants is that they have such a slim profit margin. That's the problem with restaurants. And so they have to have accurate numbers. So that is one way that you can kind of build your credibility when you are speaking with a restaurant owner. And then you can talk about your knowledge with niching down into restaurants. You understand how important it is to record the sales correctly. You understand that payroll is the biggest expense for a restaurant normally, and you need to be so really perfect with entering the numbers and making sure it is as accurate as possible. So that's just one of the advantages that you can talk about when you're talking to a restaurant.
Yeah, I love that. I was going to bring that up too, that restaurants typically have such a slim profit margin that they don't have a whole lot of room for error.
Right.
So like in our bookkeeping business, we have huge profit margins,
Right.
especially before you start building a team. And so if you overpay your staff, or, you get a couple software programs that maybe you don't need, it's not going to break the bank. But in a restaurant, if you mess up your expenses, or you're not pricing your dishes correctly, or you have a lot of inventory food spoilage that you're not paying attention to, that can really wreck all of their profits so fast. So having all of the detail in the numbers that they can review on a timely, monthly basis,
Right.
is going to be key to them being able to stay in business even.
Right. And that's one of those are the things that you're going to learn in the mastermind, is how to talk to these restaurant owners and show your expertise. So you could ask them, are they accounting for their food spoilage for the restaurant, and how do you actually record that in QuickBooks? So that's just one of the things that we would be covering in the mastermind.
Yeah, love that. I love that. That's awesome. So as far as like fees go, where do you see, like in our Bookkeeper Academy, when we teach people how to get bookkeeping clients, just general clients, the average fee is usually around $500 a month, with the minimum being about $300. So what do you see across the board with your clients, and then the restaurant clients that all the students in the mastermind have been able to pick up? What is that minimum and maybe average fee that you're seeing?
Yeah. So I have, that's the cool part with restaurants. You can charge more. So that's one of the things that we want to do as soon as you get into the mastermind, is we want to help you get clients to help pay for your monthly expense. So on average, my restaurant clients are $1,000 per month. My minimum is $500, and that's more for like this Pliable, where it's just no liquor, it's counter help, and there's not even much tips and that sort of thing. So that would be my very minimum is $500. But I have a client that's $69.50 a month. It depends on. I kind of do it based on revenue, but the average I looked at is about $1,000, and I just hit my first $50,000 month in December. So that's why I had just looked at that. So that is my average. And now we are actually starting with CFO services and that sort of thing. So that can add to the monthly price moving forward as well.